I stopped loving you a lifetime ago.
You are a fabulous dancer and the most dashing man I know. And I stopped loving you, too.
You look more beautiful than ever.
Wouldn't you like to take a closer look? Blake, it's always been you. You think you hate me, but you don't, because hate and love are intertwined.
Whatever we had died years ago. I've never stopped loving you, and I never will. I'm gonna kill you! That spectacular girl that I had met.
It was her 16th birthday. She walked up to the handsomest man in the room and said, "You are my gift for the evening."
Before we were married, sometimes we'd dance all night. In fact, there was a time before I married Blake where I lay awake in bed one night and I thought, maybe I should marry Ben instead.
Why didn't you choose me then?
Because I love Blake more. I was very young when I married Mr. Carrington.
Is this the bride that couldn't boil water?
That's right. But I did have one specialty that you were rather keen on.
Not shepherd's pie.
That's right.
You know what this house and the grounds remind me of? That place that we had in the Greek islands, remember?
Oh, yes. Our honeymoon villa in Corfu. They were such wonderful times, such incredible times. 1961. Remember? South France. But the most romantic gift that you ever bought for me was Mr. Kensington.
What? Our old collie?
At first, it was a good marriage in every sense. We had an excellent relationship. Ideal. That's the word that people use when they talked about it. We had such a wonderful life. Watching a business prosper. A young, handsome, hungry husband who shouted out to the world, "I'll show them." And you did.
Our firstborn child was terribly and cruelly taken away from us.
Why didn't you ever tell me about the other child? It was my own flesh and blood.
You had a right to know. Yes, Fallon, you did. I wanted to tell you, but you were so young. And
the day that he was kidnapped was the day I needed you and the day you turned away from me.
I was as grief-stricken as you were.
You were like ice! And that was practically the last time you ever touched me.
When I had to finally face the reality that we had lost Adam, I just slammed the door on that part of my life. It wasn't easy. We were still struggling financially then, and I poured all my energy into positive things.
He wanted more. He started traveling. Long business trips. There were weeks, sometimes months, when we didn't see each other, when we barely talked on the phone.
Denver Carrington is, in its way, a tribute to my first child.
When you used to tell me that you were going off on those trips and leaving me all alone, I used to give you hell.
Losing our baby just tore me apart.
I needed comfort, too.
Cecil Colby? It's not enough that you betray me, but you betray me with him.
The reason that I never had too much time to spend in the kitchen was that I had children to raise.
Yes, and dresses to buy, and jewelry, and furs.
Well, Blake, you were becoming so rich and successful, I thought, why not? Maybe it was need, or maybe hurt. I found myself becoming involved with another man.
What was this man's name, Mrs. Carrington?
His name was Roger Grimes.
Roger Grimes. Now, Mr. Grimes worked for Blake Carrington. Isn't that a fact?
Yes.
He designed an art studio right there on the estate for you. Isn't that true?
Yes. This studio is mine, remember? You gave it to me when Stephen was born. I have you to thank for it?
No.
Yes. Your father had it built for me. And he gave it to me, land, deed, and everything, as a present for giving him a son. I mean, I was a painter. That is, I wanted to be one, a good one, and Roger encouraged me. I was lonely. I was becoming more and more lonely.
I was busy then. You know I was very busy.
He'd been away on business, and he came home unexpectedly.
Your affairs were about as private as a circus.
He found us together. He picked up a candlestick. He started hitting Roger with it. He hit him on the head. He hit him on the chest. He nearly killed him.
Roger Grimes came into our house. He had an affair with you, and he deserved to be more than frightened.
He started shouting hideous words at me.
Don't worry, I'm not going to drag you out of that bed the way I dragged out your lover. I wouldn't want to touch you. I wouldn't want to dirty my hands.
Oh, he was drunk, Blake. He forced himself on.
I want you out of this house and out of my life.
Just 20 years ago that Blake threw me out of this house, out of this room.
I want you out of this house and out of Denver. What's more, I'm going to pay you to go like the cheap little slut you are.
I went to find Roger.
I'm going with you.
Get off me, will you? I'm in a hurry.
I can't believe this. I can't. Roger Blake's thrown me out. I have nowhere to go.
Hey, we've all got our problems.
You threw me out of your life and my children's lives. You left me for dead and by a vicious act of blackmail.
When I left Denver for Switzerland, I had lost everything. I lost my husband, my children, my home, everything.
When Alexis came to Switzerland, she was pregnant. And she confided to her that you were the father, but that no one should know, not ever.
Well, I'm back now, and I don't care how long it takes or what it takes. I shall ruin you.
I remember an Alexis Carrington that wasn't twisted and cold.
I remember that woman, too. And I remember the man who turned her into that. To better times. You destroyed a part of my life when you banished me from this kingdom of yours. You'll never know quite how much you hurt me.
Well, as you say, to better times.
Yes.